Well, hello everybody. It's Thursday. Araya here coming to you live this week. I had told you this is spring break for my kids, so I have actually taken this entire week off. Interestingly timed, it was scheduled out, of course, months ago. But I love how the universe conspires, at least with all the kids in our zone that are on spring break during this time. Hello, Susan. So didn't know if I would for sure be coming on this week. I think with what's going on in the world, I feel really called to discuss a couple aspects, but also to bring in some dragons to activate some things within us, because not only is this whole thing that's going on, it's unsettling people, it's stressing people out and calling for us to come to center, to come together. It's about the global community coming together. Hello, Linda. And it's about finding our center, about holding and maintaining that space of light. And I apologize, I'm noticing here the lighting because I'm not in my normal space. I wanted you guys to be able to see the beautiful snowy background that I'm in for our sequestered week of quiet. But we got, I think they've gotten 2 feet in the last week, and just it was so beautiful to have snow falling all day yesterday. But it is creating a challenge to set up enough light for you guys to see compared to my normal setup. So bearing with it and hoping there's not any noise in the background, because I am on spring break with my boys, and so they are watching a show in another room, and hopefully that won't interrupt or affect the background of the recording for those that are on the replay. But where we're at, I want to bring up surrender and trust, because as many of you know, we are in a space of expansion. We are in a space of shift. Hello, Akimi. Huge things happening, and we've been waiting a long time for them to happen. We didn't know how they would unfold or what they would look like, but as some systems need to break apart and some things need to shift on the planet to bring us into more global consciousness and awareness, and that's what I talked about last week on the live. So if you didn't catch that one, go back and watch last week's. It's both in the video archives of the group, but it's also on my YouTube channel, Invoke Healing International, so under the Dragon playlist. So go back and catch that one so that you're aware of really what this is doing for us on a heart level and a global level, of bringing the community together and pushing everybody into really experiencing their fears of death, or what that brings up for them, and how it shifts you forward when you actually take a look at that and brings the end of that bell curve forward. So surrender and trust, this is an interesting aspect that, hello Ingra, hello Stacy, has been really prevalent in both my own growth in the last 2.5 to 3 years, as well as in my groups. So I'm in the midst of my 3rd year running of the Dragon Heart program, and that's a very intensive movement forward into merging with your Dragon Heart, to actually activating all of your crystalline geometries and aspects. And in that journey, this is what's been coming forward, both with each of those Dragon Hearts, but also for myself, that surrender and trust in the journey are continuous, ongoing aspects of letting go. And so many of us have control aspects where we don't want to let go of control. We don't want to let the boat just drift down the river because we feel like we're going to hit the shore, we're going to go over a waterfall, we're going to hit those rocks, whatever the case may be. And what I've learned is the more we go forward, the more we're being asked to really hands up, just let go of the oars. You have to let yourself move forward. Hello, Trinity. And surrender. And surrendering doesn't mean you give up. Surrendering means you just are at peace and let go, which allows the boat to flow exactly where it needs to take you forward, because your higher self and your guides are actually directing the boat. They're making sure you get to the channels of the river that are for you, that you need to explore, that you need to go into, and that way of letting go pushes us forward into aspects of our journey that we might not otherwise get ourselves directed to if we try and maintain control of it. Or it doesn't let us drop into the softness that is the feminine aspect of the light, the feminine aspect of Mother God, compared to our aspect of Father God, where we like to take action and we like to step forward and really be holding the reins. But when we surrender and just hands up and let go and say, okay, it doesn't mean I give up, or am letting go of my intentions or my desires or what I want to create. It means I'm surrendering to a process that's higher than myself, that knows exactly where I need to go, and it allows our future self, which is our higher self, is actually embodied already in light, on the planet, out in the future, and it's trying to guide us forward. So if you've had experiences, and I've had more experiences with both my own future self and clients' future selves in the last 2.5 years than I have in all of the 20 plus years that I've been working on a spiritual journey. So look at it with that perspective of, I'm surrendering to myself. I'm allowing my future self to step in and make sure that I take the steps that would direct me on the most direct path, the shortest travel tangent to get to where I am, that expression, where I am in my highest form, my highest expression. So in that, it involves a lot of trust. It involves just letting go and knowing, even in these times, it's tumultuous, we're worried, we're stressed. And if you just anchor in the light continuously, and I feel like that's why I want to call in, there's a couple reasons I feel really called to draw the crystal dragons in for everybody today. Part of it is anchoring that light. And I wrote a post yesterday that's in the group, hello Rhea, that there's a couple things you can do with the dragons right now, because there's so much tension and chaos and unrest and uneasiness in the global community. And what's really interesting about that is every light worker I've talked to is really in a centered space, hello Lori, of just knowing like, wow, this is an unfolding drama on the surface, but energetically there's a lot more to it. And if we stop and tune in and get centered, that's what allows the light to keep expanding, to keep calming and grounding everything that's going on, so that it is the most smooth of transitions possible. And in that, in our own internal work, when we feel ourselves getting riled up, when we feel ourselves getting drawn into stress or tension, even those little aspects of, are you judging, or are you putting assessments or misjudgments on things? All of a sudden, if anybody coughs or sneezes around us, we're freaked out and thinking, oh my gosh, they're giving me the virus. And in actuality, they might just have a cold or an allergy or something that they're trying to blow out of their system, just that they were choking on. Whatever it is, catch yourself in that. Catch yourself when you're in that space of pushing back or pushing away with an expectation or a belief that might not be the truth, and find in yourself the centered place to go in. And the fire dragons and the black dragons are our greatest gift to work with the shadow within us. So any of those places where we have judgment, expectation, pushback, wanting to do this, there's something within you that is not aligned and is still part of that shadow or disbelief and trust in the greater alliance to the light that is. And the black dragon and the fire dragon are the ones that you can call in to help you move that out, allow you to see it. And the air dragons, you want to get clarity and perspective on what's going on, call the air dragons in. They are the ones who always will bring you the clarity, and aligning with that in their lineage. With the white dragons, the copper dragons, they bring clarity, they bring information, they bring perspective. And a lot of times what we need in times like this around the planet is perspective. So being, hello Leslie and Claire, good to see you guys. Being in that space of knowing I'm going within myself. I want to find my highest light. You might find things pop up that are not feeling like a high settled frequency. That is something within you that feels negative or niggling or a worry, a stress. Bring the black and the fire dragons in to address that. Go in and find what's underlying that. What belief or structure do I have still within me that is not aligned to truth, that is reacting to this? Response and reaction are different. So allowing that to come in. And then when you feel that release and feel yourself going into, oh, actually, I feel really smooth and calm right now. Then allow yourself to bring in any of the, I suggested in my post yesterday, the white dragon, the silver dragon, or the crystal dragon, to bring and amplify your own field. And there's Shaki. I was just talking about bringing the white dragon in. She's been doing a practice that she shared with me in a comment of bringing the white dragon in every day before she goes out to work, because she's still in a workforce where she gets to go out and go to work. Not everybody's in that space right now. But when you have to go outside, or even if you don't, calling in the white dragon and amplifying your field with that frequency, there's another benefit to that. Not only does it amplify your frequency, but in doing so, that is actually building immunity into your frequency, into your field, that makes it more impervious to anything that is not aligned with your highest self actually coming in and affecting it. So interestingly, there was someone else that mentioned just yesterday, I forget where I heard it or saw it, but when you actually align to, because there are beings on the planet and everything is energy, right? It's you have to remember that everything's energy. So there are actually beings that their physical body has moved through and moved into a state of immunity from this virus and any others. So whatever viruses are out there, whatever illnesses are out there that you want to align to with immunity, allow your energy body, ask your guides to go out and connect with that energy field and bring and stream that into your own field to build your own immunity, to build your own impervious energy field or energy body, to either not allow that to infuse into your field. I don't want to say reject, because reject is a negative connotation that is almost taking control of, like, no, I'm pushing away from. Anything that is repulsion or a pushing away from isn't an embrace. So can we embrace that and know that any energy coming in like that would just be mitigated through our field? And maybe as light workers, that would be a service that we can actually mitigate quite a bit of it around the planet, so that the effects on children, elderly, and any of those that might have a harder time with it could actually be mitigated. So play with that idea with your guides. Is that something that you in service can do as a light worker? So the aspect of bringing in those dragons and if working with energy, in the sense that you can build your own immunity and allowing your field to be built just so that you are always amplifying the light. And especially those of you which are here in this group because you're connected to dragons and your dragon heart, when you actually, and this is the reason I do my program with the Way of the Dragon Hearts, the more dragon hearts I can get activated and really aligned with their higher selves on this planet and fully merged to their dragon, is because it creates a beacon. It creates a massive sized temple of light that is so much bigger as a lighthouse than a single candle. And holding that space on the planet is what needs to happen right now. The grids need to be held in light, because Gaia, as many are feeling right now, she is stronger than ever. She is, I want to say, it's funny that the words rippling her feathers is what's coming out, and I don't know why. I've never imagined her necessarily with feathers, but I feel her starting to just move and embrace, and her field is amplifying. And many of you that are very connected to her may be really feeling that she is coming to life, that she is really present and expanding herself, which creates a need for a whole bunch of realignments in the energy fields that are on the templates of the surface of the planet. So all of this goes back always to holding your light, staying in surrender and trust, and knowing, all right, what can I do in service? What is called on for me other than holding my light? Because some of you are healers and both see people or have clients that are part of your community that you can reach out to and say, hey, are you doing this? Make sure that you're holding your own field of light, because many of us know that we're supposed to do that. Many of us have, had that in our mindset all across our journey. But sometimes in these times of stress, we forget to do it. We forget to make a conscious mental note that every day I should be amplifying my field. I should be calling in some of the dragons that I can to just expand me out, make my field that much higher in frequency, that makes it impervious to anything, or makes it a mitigator, so that when those fields come in, you can actually, instead of repelling it, embrace it and mitigate it so that it doesn't go out to others. Because that's what we're here as light workers to do. We are here in service, and the dragons have a special role with that. So I've never done I've done live readings online. You guys have seen that, but I haven't actually done a live meditation, and I was feeling really called for the first time to do that with you today. I want to call the crystal dragons in, both for everyone that's on the call, because we do have a nice big communal gathering here today right now, but for those that are on the replay. And hopefully you guys will share this out to each of your own communities, so that this could be something that is just going to be a short 10-15 minutes. I don't feel it'll go much longer than that. Might be right around 11 actually, now that I'm getting that hit. That's interesting. I never time it, but we'll see what happens. That this would be something that either upon waking, or especially right before going to bed over the next couple of weeks, play it again, listen to it again, and bring the crystal dragons in very present in your field to work in your field through the night. That already in your dream space, you're going in and doing lots of work in the different etheric planes. But to have that crystalline frequency around you is what's needed right now. And I think what guided me to this today was having a real feeling or a sense that there are gateways that we are moving through right now that need to be amplified. That as we move through those gateways, even in our dream time, in our own individual work that we're doing in those planes, that if we have the crystalline frequency, because this expansion for Gaia, what's happening, and many of you that have the book and have worked with it or worked with me in programs and classes know that the crystalline core of the planet is Gaia's own dragon heart. It's that central core. The planet has crystalline at the core, and it's actually already shifted to diamond. About a year and a half ago, it started shifting to diamond, and it's a gateway, and we each have our own gateway, and those gateways that we're accessing into those higher fifth dimensional planes on a more tangible field way, if we can put it that way. There's gateways to access that, and there's bridges being built, and there are individuals that are already going back and forth through that to start widening those gateways. So as we do that work, if we have the crystalline frequencies in our core that are part of not only our own highest field and template, but Gaia's highest field and template, then what we're doing is helping expand that template and the portals that are assisting her and us through this time, because this time, and we don't know what all the gateways look like. Our higher self does, our future self does. But knowing that there's a geometric form that we're aligning to, that everything in fifth dimensional reality has a sacred geometric form. And as we move to and align to that, that is the form that is present before it ever drops down into material, tangible, terrestrial, 3D matter. As we realign to the higher geometric forms, you can actually start experiencing it around you or feeling parts of it around you, and knowing that we have a geometry, the trees outside, all the living beings have their own geometry, Earth herself has a geometry, and if we're aligning to those and we're aligning to their crystalline, then we want to be in a crystalline field as we begin to open the gateways to access those. So I feel like that's the really, hello Will, I'm so glad you made it live. That's really what I want to align us to in this meditation, to take us into that space that every time we go into the sleep state, so right before you go to bed, listening to it, and that's why I want to keep it short, so it's a quick, easy, like, all right, here it is. And then aligning again when you wake up. Hello, Annabelle. And there's Annabelle's one of my dragon hearts, who is absolutely aligned with sacred geometric form of anybody I know. And I know that she's going to be starting. I hope you don't mind me putting a little plug in here for you, Annabelle, because Annabelle here is one that actually works with people's crystalline geometries, or can see their geometries and help realign them or move debris out of them. And it's a special field that I've never seen. Hello, Shauna. I've never seen come up before as a healer. It was something that unfolded during her time in my program as a dragon heart, and keeps unfolding for her as she keeps expanding into it. So talk about a special gift. But I feel like that's connecting with what we're doing today. So I'm going to take us into a space of meditation, just maybe 10, 15 minutes. And if you can't watch now, it's okay to click off or just leave, the screen on so that it's playing in the background of whatever you're doing if you're at work. And encouraging you, hello, Weldy, to take this and make a note to listen to it before you go to bed. Just to bring that crystalline dragon frequency in and allow yourself to expand with it for all the reasons that we just talked about. And I know that for some reason that the word gateways is coming right now, that's really the biggest part of this, and why I felt really called to do this on a live, because I haven't done a meditation on a live before. Hello, Lee, down in South Africa. Good to see you. And Rhea, we've got a nice group on here today. So thanks everybody for coming in live. This is going to be hopefully a huge gift from the dragons for you and from myself. So let's go ahead and do that. So drop into a comfortable space. Allow yourself to just fully relax. If you have your legs crossed, either lay down or sit back in a space where you can uncross your legs, let your feet touch the floor, allow your arms to drop open, ideally with your palms forward, or you can cross your palms in front of your hands so they're resting Palms up, one in front of the other, one inlaid in the other, whichever way feels more natural to you, left on right or right on, or left on top or right on top, whichever is more natural. So just allowing yourself to align and take a deep breath in. And as you exhale, feel all the tension drop from your body, from the very tip of the crown, all the way down through the center of the head space, along the back of the skull where a lot of people feel tension, down the neck, through the shoulders. Take an extra exhale into the shoulders and allow on the exhale, dropping all the tension you're carrying through your shoulders, down the spine, down both arms. And then again, a deep breath into the lower back, where many people also carry a lot of stress and tension. That lower back being the space where many of us have things show up because we're not supporting ourselves energetically, allowing that to drop down and release into surrender and trust. So that as the crystalline frequencies come in, you can actually feel that realign, that support structure all the way through your spine, dropping all the way down the legs, and feeling a whoosh of energy drop down out of your feet on another exhalation, down into the core of the earth. Anyone that uses grounding cords as a practice, just feel all of that tension, stress, everything that is holding you back right now from surrender and trust. Just shoot right out that grounding cord energetically down into Gaia. Let her transform it. Let her use that energy as she will breathe it in and exhale it out and transmute it into something magical. And allow yourself to visualize a sphere coming into place around you, much like a crystal ball, a crystalline frequency sphere. And just pay attention with your mind's eye or your internal kinetics, however you sense information. It might be visual, it might be kinetic or sensory. You might just have a sense or a knowing of what it looks like. And as you feel this sphere build around you, almost like watching a snowflake be created, allow the crystalline geometry that's associated with your field, with your soul signature, to specify itself and come into place. Some of you may have the capacity to actually see it, to know what it looks like and be able to draw it. I would encourage you to if you get that information. Sense of structure forming around you, feeling like you're inside of a jungle gym on a playground. And you might feel bars stretching out or intersecting lines, grids coming into place, much like a multi-dimensional snowflake expanding out from your central core out around you. Feel the light expand into it. And you can feel the approach of multiple crystal dragons. They might appear like dancing snowflakes. Some might be tiny, some might be magnificently large and formidable. And as you feel them come in and circle around you, you might feel them aligning to different points within your own geometric field, your soul's signature, and beginning to touch it in different intersecting points. They seem so small that they appear like fireflies or just little blasts of light flitting about as they touch and pinpoint different aspects of your crystalline geometry. And you feel the energy pulsing and running along each of those lines, lighting it up from within. Building a unified crystalline field around you. And as you feel the final point come into alignment, you will see all those little tiny pinpoints of light, the larger ones, and the largest of the crystal dragons all merge together into a single form and expression. And allow that crystal dragon to come present directly before you, face to face, eye to eye. And you can feel the codes beginning to be passed. The codes that are your access points through the upcoming gateways. The gateways that separate you from this moment in time as the self that you are in this incarnate body, with your future self that is already living in full crystalline form, fully activated light body on the planet. And the multiple gateways you will pass through between this point and that having the access codes now will begin to accelerate the process, that as you accelerate it for yourself, you will accelerate it for the wider communal aspect, for an awakening, and for Gaia. And just feel the codes as they move through the lines. Some are coming directly through the eyes of the crystal dragon. And others are moving along all of the different tangents and aspects of symmetry of your geometry. You may feel your dragon wings activate fully, or feel movement or motion along their energy lines. It might feel as if you were like a star being born or a star being lit up. Allow that level of light to begin to flood through your field. Activating you into your next higher level of conscious awareness. Allowing you to hold this grounded field of starlight, of divine light, of the highest frequency possible in the human form. To expand out as you hold this in your field and touch those around you in a way that might shake them to the core or begin their own seed of expansion by planting a crystalline seed in their field, just by touching your activated field. Feel your entire spine light up with this crystalline frequency. Allow it to shoot out your crown and down through the root. Allowing almost like a signal flare to be sent out to the heavens, to the watchers in the horizons of this universe who are waiting for signs. They're waiting for a certain number of flares. My whole body's lighting up on this. The watchers, and there's a large wave of emotion rising through the communal field in recognizing the truth of that these individual signal flares are sending out a message of readiness for the next phase of expansion. And allowing yourself to stay in this field, this expanded wave of light, as you move about the rest of your day, or allow yourself to go into sleep for expanded work in your dream state, holding this frequency through the night. When you feel ready, just allowing yourself to hold this space and yet gently open your eyes so that you're connecting with the world around you in a conscious way while maintaining this field of light. And Lori, thank you for the reminder. Happy Equinox today. No wonder I felt so inspired to get up and do this. So thank you all for being here. Please feel free to share this out to any communities, whether it be dragon or not. If you think it would be something to help them activate their own crystalline fields and expand the gateways for the planet right now. I know that there's a large alignment for the equinox, and just align yourself to it. Allow your heart to go into alignment with the global community of light workers for this day, for this equinox celebration, that over the next 20 hours, as it completes around all the different places on the planet, that the energy field will be expanded and birthed through into the new. All right. So it feels very potent and powerful. I'm going to leave it at that for now and send blessings, giant dragon hugs out to each of you. And if you have questions, comments, anything, of course, post them in the comments field. But if you have direct ones for me, whether it be about your own individual work or path or what you need to do next, please send me an email or a instant message, because I do respond to those. And I will probably even respond during my week off here. So sending giant dragon hugs out to each of you. Thank you for being here. Thank you for those that are on the replay and for expanding yourself, because we all need to come together and send this wave of crystalline light to expand Gaia's crystalline geometric field and activate it with the dragons. So signing off for now. We'll see you guys next week on our normal 2:00 schedule. Bye, everybody.